Hello and welcome to the first Inverse, Indent's new poetry showcase platform, whatever you want to call it. This is the first event of Indent Indoors, which is a week full of new digital works, which I can't wait to share with you all. Myself and a whole host of other incredibly talented people have been working on this for the past month or so. And yeah, I can't wait for you all to see it. So I hope you come back every day this week and see what we've been working on, and I hope you enjoy. I'm gonna kick this off today with a poem. This is entirely true. He touched the moon once, didn't land, just drifted past and ran his fingers over craters like a dusty radiator. He was the first person to get their lip caught in a fruit chute lid. It hurt, but he'd felt worse, so he didn't let it stop him. If anything, the apple and blackcurrant tasted all the better for it. And he met God once, in a bar, both drinking alone. God placed a strong hand on his shoulder and opened a tab. He couldn't remember a single thing they'd talked about in the morning, but he knew that it was good. He couldn't blow his nose until he was 19, but he learned to tie his shoes at 2 years old. He's never lost a game of chess against himself. He can recite the alphabet backwards, but only up to F. He can play the piano with his toes, and he's really good at whistling. One night, he tasted fireworks. Walking home, holding hands with the full midsummer air, he turned his face starwards and caught the sparks that survived the fall on the end of his tongue. He closed his eyes and savoured the sizzling. The next morning, he invented popping candy and refused to patent it, insisting that that feeling should be free. He loves old movies and books about people. His favourite animal is Winnie the Pooh. He's never lost his wallet or his temper or his train of thought, and he's never once spelt Wednesday right. He believes in ghosts and love at first sight, and he understands Twin Peaks. And if you tell him that you're sorry, he'll believe you. So I hope you'll do the same for him. Thank you. Enjoy.
Hi everyone, my name's Matt Brooks. I've been writing poetry for a little while, and it's an honour to be here virtually with you tonight. Now, I've got a few poems, and the first one is called Rockstar Poet. Kick the mic stand or the bucket. Make the crowd scream, shower them in inky influences. Paint the scene, more obscene the better. My peak is the tip of my pen, forever dull, never blunts. I shout anaphora, I scream of eloquence, I cry and dry my tears on a page, waiting to pour them on my next expecting victims. Now, my second poem is a tribute to who is, in my opinion, one of the greatest comedians of all time. See if you can guess who they are. And the poem is called Wrong End of the Telescope of Life. Well lit the stage before he knew it was his. Yet he jumped to the top and with a Glaswegian kiss greeted the world, gave it a gift. But life takes its own, it takes its toll. The greatest heart carries the greatest fucking burden. Thousands of words, fuck is still the best. Being a king is not made through fame. It is a comedy spread into souls, one laugh at a time. So thank fuck for the big yin and his gifts of laughter and rhyme. And my final poem tonight is something I wrote a little while ago, but I don't think I've ever actually performed it live. So I thought that I would close with it tonight. It is called The Cowboy's Dream of the Great Space Rodeo. Do you remember days of baked beans and shooting stars, waiting on our lonely plain for metal with the sparkle of worn-out suns. Or the next day we might eat meat. Do you remember nights of glaring at the sky to catch the next space rodeo? Do you remember binary stars taking steps, draw, secondary collapsing under pressure it exerted on itself? Primary devoured it, drowned in barbecue sauce, before turning to watch the show. Taurus wrestled the tether of Orion's belt, but relaxed when the Greek myth pulled his six-shooter on the bovine. What was once a rodeo was now a constellation corridor. Bloodbath of the stars after the great bull was killed. Pegasus went next. They clipped his wings with black hole blades, laughed when he couldn't fly, cried when they ate his shine. Do you remember waiting? When the stars ran out of friends to kill, they stared back at us and licked their lips. Thank you very much.
My first poem is called Sirius Rising, and it's inspired by the famous dog star. To see you, and only you, gives light to the dog days. I am now Venus in the blistering, feverish depths of bewitchment. Only we are no myth. You are my Sirius Rising. My next poem is called A Spirit Unknown, and it's inspired by the famous novel Dracula by Bram Stoker. To stay would be senseless. If our eyes were to burn into the back of each other's heads, and we gradually push the air from each other's ribs with a slow step, my strong indifference encouraging me to spend a lifetime living amongst beings who drink up my soul in a very different way. We must all believe in what we cannot, and spirit travels fast, faster than conventional logic. I still, after a lifetime amongst mortal happiness, will not let you go into the unknown alone. That is just who I am. My next poem is called Coffee and Sleep, and it's inspired by a day in quarantine. Sometimes I would wake up at God knows when, go to my kitchen, make myself a coffee with the works, of course, get back into bed, explore the areas of my mind I haven't touched upon yet, until I fall asleep again. They won't be my darkest days, but they would be grey, I must confess. The next poem is called Dying Out There, and it's inspired by the works of Samuel Beckett. You're on a stage with hot lighting spots roasting you slowly. You don't know who has placed you there or why. You say, I've got to get out of here. I'm dying here. Then you just remain, standing and reflecting. You go through hell, and then you do it again. Ageless and timeless. You're gradually deteriorating, face aging, limbs crumbling, not working as you should. This hand of torturers of the soul and spirit, You can't escape, because this is the only way the world can see you. You leave. You die. My next poem is called Lovers in the City, and it's inspired by the film noir genre. Petit Fleur, my gorgeous Petit Fleur, cheek to cheek, nose to nose, lash to lash, a butterfly kiss, my favorite kind. When Billy sings us good night, my heart, oh my heart, Petit Fleur, my only Petit Fleur, my heart bleeds with caterpillar blood. Face to face, soul to soul, my darling Petit Fleur. The last poem I'm going to read is a very short mini poem, and it is inspired by The Big Sleep by Raymond Chandler. Curtu crisply whispered into his ear with a final squeeze, and all the way home the words Curtu, Curtu, Curtu. Thank you for listening.
Welcome. My name is Sam, and this is my room. I suspect you might be wanting a tour. I'm afraid I won't be giving you one. Instead, I shall read you some poems. And this is the first one. This is called Is That Really You? We made synthetic flowers to stop death forming in our favourite crystal, and dreams of vanilla and old romance took control. I see true love in films and lament a life I'm not living, but thankful I can feel this when we study chimps, hoping they can do the same. All smiles when Coco pretends she's a bird, and we share something new. The whole world changes. And we're gonna build on that momentum we've just gathered and go straight to the second one. This is called Late But No Change. I'm not going to find whatever fire made it fresh tonight. Black sky from blue still transitioning and obscured by the return of streetlights. Permission given to keep the walk home safer was the hope. The office light kept on in lockdown, takes my eyes from the neighbour's chimney. And how if you move it to the right, it looked like a birthday card drawing to show where our family would live. That natural light, cherry and orange, and of my mum's smile. Scared to look at it for too long, in case it dies out in front of me. But now, we're south of the sunshine, and tired from worry. Thank you. I'm gonna whack on to the last poem. This is called Pink Like His Brain. Like his favourite salmon shirt, like cheeks changing, hit with the wind, stepping into the city. Pink like his knuckles, and the stream up his fingers to the tip is pink and numb. Pink because he's embarrassed. Pink because he's pinched the inside of his wrist nervous. Pink when his mum calls him perfect, and pink like crushed berries up the sides of his leg. Thank you for listening, and thank you to Indent for this opportunity. Jolly good. I'm gonna go. Apologies. This is my room.